I hope you're ready.
This is Unbridled Thoughts.
We want to hear what you have to say.
Welcome back to Unbridled Thoughts. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Ren, and you better grab the mane because there's no reins in Unbridled Thoughts.
I am so excited about today. I've been counting down. We have Miss LaRhonda Patrick here. I fangirl over her all the time because you are just doing an amazing job at what you're doing. I don't mean to fluff you too much. I just seriously, that's how I genuinely feel about you.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet.
So we know you, but for those who may not know, you're the mayor of Warner Robins.
That is right.
Mm-hmm.
I am she.
How is it going so far? How do you feel?
I feel great, actually. I'm thankful to have won my second term
Yeah.
of office and gotten the trust of the community to continue leading our city. I'm excited about the initiatives we did first term and going into second term. This innovative momentum continues, and I really do feel honored, blessed, and grateful to be able to serve in this role in our community.
I love it. I feel like you're just kicking butt. That's why I cannot brag about you enough. We're so excited to work with you and all the things that we see you doing. And I just feel like you're for the people, which is just finally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm not knocking anybody in the past, but finally.
I agree. I'm a constituent too. I live here too. I understand completely.
So we want to kind of kick it off with the wellness initiative that you have going, especially since we're about to start our whole wellness healthy hustle. But if you can kind of explain to us your initiative and what you have going on, that'd be great.
What started it too.
Okay, great. So the Mayor's Health Initiative was one of the first things that I did when I came in office when it comes to a big initiative.
Yeah.
The foundation of it was I didn't have a chance to really do self-care for me, to keep me level, to do my job. And I started thinking, I never really did in my career, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. The second piece was we're self-insured with the city of Warner Robins. That means we cover the expenses of healthcare so that our employees will only pay a small amount for their health insurance coverage. And in that, every year I get a report to show where the most of our money went. And if you look at the top 20, they're going to be different type of illnesses, diagnoses, and half of them were preventable. That's what was told. And I said, wow, what if we had something that really helped to deal with, be proactive about our health so we can reduce the amount of money we're spending for our employees.
Yeah.
So the health initiative was birthed from those two issues in our community, and it's been amazing.
It is, and you're right. I live a busy life. I'm a business owner and a single mom. You kind of follow in that same path a little bit, but you have a career. Well, you are a business owner of the city of Warner Robins, I guess.
And I have a couple of that businesses sitting out there. I was a business owner before I became mayor, and I had to close down my brick and mortar.
No way.
Yeah, I did. I made a sacrifice.
Did so much research, and I did never could find that.
Oh yeah, Williams Patrick Law LLC. That was my law firm. Yep, I was right there off of Olympia.
Oh, no.
Drive.
That is so cool. That's so cool. But yeah, I can never find time to work out, eat healthy, do the things that we're supposed to be doing. So I love it. Yeah. I love what you've started.
Yes, and part of these wellness initiatives are classes where you have experts come in and the citizens can just come and attend the classes. And Sarah and I had an opportunity to do it last year, and it was a class with a nurse that was focusing on the lymphatic system, which we were like, oh, cool, we work with that with what we do for a living, and we were blown away at what all knowledge she had and how she broke it down, and it's just nice to have the opportunity for all that too.
Well, and just to start thinking outside of the box. I mean, the medical system for so long has just been go to the doctor, get a drug, you know what I mean? Well, why can't we prevent it, And I feel like that's been missing in our wellness for a long time. And obviously, I think other people are starting to see that too, which is amazing.
Yeah, preventative care is the best care. And I want to thank you too for helping us with the Healthy Hustle, which is something we did last year. And we can't thank you enough for reaching out and asking to collaborate with us on that. I mean, that's amazing. So we're going to be doing it our second year. And the city and you are giving us the opportunity to have it at the House and Sports Complex right here where the InnoLab is, where we are today. And I get goosebumps talking about it because I can't thank you enough for believing in what we're doing and letting us kind of just settle up with you and just go into that together.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, and it's going to keep growing every year. It's going to get more and more. People are going to be looking for your program. So I'm just proud of the two of you for doing it and for bringing it to me so that I could learn what I didn't know and really, stand there with you and really push your initiative forward for all of us. Because, like I said, self-care is last on the list for me, and I really need help with prioritizing me.
So to clarify, we will be having the open house where we're at today.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's where the city is really helping us, which is amazing.
Yes, on August 1st.
Yeah, on August 1st. So exciting. So what is your wellness initiative? What are you guys doing with that?
So our wellness initiative is kind of has three pieces to it. It's about fun, family, fitness, that's free.
Yeah.
So the 4 F's.
I love that.
It's about. So we have the fitness in the park. It's one of the things that we do. So the gist of it is anyone in the community can come out and participate for free, be exposed to different fitness activities that they may not have been exposed to before, learn from our seminar series how to be healthier and proactive about your health.
Yeah.
And then we also have the third piece is people can go out to different fitness brick and mortars, facilities, businesses, and be exposed to something they would not have ever been exposed to without having a membership. So that helps the small business community get more people interested into their baby, into their business, and also helps them get more members, and it helps the community be exposed to things like, I actually like this type of healthcare, this type of fitness activity. So that's what it's about.
Yeah, I think it makes it accessible. And I think sometimes there may be a view for someone who's never experienced that before, myself coming from the spa industry, that because something seems fancy, it's not for them. And that's not true.
Right.
That's not true. Wellness and self-care are accessible to everybody, as they should be. And everyone deserves that.
Exactly.
Well, we're going to take it all the way back.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you about baby LaRhonda.
Okay.
Did you have a favorite toy growing up?
I did.
Yeah?
Yes. Barbies.
Yes.
Girl, I'm a Barbie girl.
Barbies and Cabbage Patch. I still have my dollhouse in my storage.
I love that.
I literally talked about this last week. I was the girly girl growing up. I was a tomboy too, but
Me too.
I played with my dolls all the way through middle school.
Oh, me too. Way past when people we were not telling anybody, right? We're sneak into our bedroom and play secretly.
Like I had it, and I still have my dolls in my dollhouse. It's about at least over 3 feet tall. I still have it. It's little tyke, so it'll last forever.
Oh, I love it.
And I was telling my friends, I said, look, I still have my stuff. And even though my fiance has 4 grandchildren, they can come over to the house and play with it when we build our new house, but they can't take it home. Like, no, these are my toys. You play with it while you're here, and that's it. So I'm serious about my Barbie dolls and my Cabbage Patch.
Yeah.
And I'm a boy mom, and that's totally fine.
But it probably keeps you connected to your inner child, too, which they talk about how important that is all the time. Yeah. Where were you born?
I was born in Andrews Air Force Base, Maryland.
Okay.
I'm an Air Force brat, but I was there probably at the most 2 weeks. And then we flew back to Terceira Island, Azores, Portugal, where my father was PCS'd.
Wow.
Yeah, they shipped my mom out for emergency cesarean. So I was supposed to be born overseas.
Oh,
my goodness.
Wow. Could you imagine if you were?
My 2 brothers are actually.
Are they?
Yeah, I have one brother that's 13 and a half months younger than me, and then I have another one that's 8 years younger. So on the second tour, he was born in the Azores. So all of us would have been born there had I not been the first. And they shipped my mother into Maryland to have me, since I was the firstborn. Yep.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. My grandpa actually came from Portugal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he was the first
Awesome.
generation here.
Cool.
Yeah, crazy. It's crazy. We have a lot of common things
Yeah.
connected. It's
You
weird.
definitely do. What was it like being the only girl then?
Great. I loved being the only girl. I used to beat my brothers up, beat up my cousins. I was a straight tomboy and loved every ounce of it. And I was one of the oldest when it comes to my cousins and things. I was like one of the oldest.
Oh, wow.
But I loved it. I played hard. I played with the boys. It was how my athleticism kind of came to be. I'd play in the Thomasville, where my family's from, we'd play on the street and play football.
Oh, cool.
And I would kick off my girl sandals, and I'd run barefoot, and I'd do racing, and I'd always beat all the boys, including my brother. So I loved being the only girl. I still love being the only girl and the oldest.
Besides Warner Robins, do you have a favorite place your family's ever lived?
Terceira Island, Azores, Portugal. Lauderdale Air Force Base is the favorite. My favorite memory as a child, as far as where we lived.
Wow, that's so cool.
I've
always wanted to go there.
Let's do it.
It's a great place for families. The reason why we loved it so much is because all the families that were stationed there, they only had each other.
Mm-hmm.
So they were always, like every weekend, we were with friends doing something. And on the weekends, we would go to the rec department and do fun things together. I don't know where our parents were, but we were safe on base at the rec department, at the theater, at bowling, skating. Those were what we do, activities, and just roam about on our own, and it was safe.
Yeah.
So when I came here, I'm like, oh my gosh, what a culture shock. I know. Are we on punishment? Because we have to stay in the house with mom and dad on the weekend, and I don't see any kids outside playing in the playground. So it was a big culture shock. So that is my favorite place to live as a child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of my friends in high school moved from France, and we were in class, and she stood up and started to walk out the door, and the instructor goes, "Excuse me, where are you going?" And she goes, "Oh, I have to use the restroom." She goes, "You have to ask permission." And she thought that really shocked her. She's like, "I have to ask permission to use the restroom. I can't just go to the restroom and come back." She thought that was so wild.
Yeah.
But I could see it.
The cultural differences really does make a difference.
Mm-hmm. It does. So when did you decide to get into law?
When I was in 8th grade,
Really?
I was in, we did WAVE back then, Weapon and Violence Education. And part of our class as 8th graders was a mock trial.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized then I'm really good at convincing people to think what I want them to think, but not in a manipulative way.
Right.
Just advocating and really making them think, oh, you have a point.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, I want to be an attorney when I grow up, because I knew that that's part of what they did. So I kept that dream with me, 8th grade, all the way until I walked across the stage with my Juris Doctor from North Carolina Central University School of Law.
Wow.
That's
Never
amazing.
let it leave me.
That's so crazy. So you just stayed on that course the whole entire time.
I didn't know any attorneys. No one in my family was an attorney. I didn't know any judges. But I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I love that, though. I love that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, there have only been 16 mayors of the city of Warner Robins, so already a very small group. Becoming the first woman, the youngest, the first POC elected mayor, we are blown away already. But what was your thought process as you were running and your support? What was your thought process as you were running and your support system?
Well, my
Running
thought
through that.
process, and great question. My thought process was, oh my gosh, can I do this? When I actually put my name down, I had been asked maybe at least 7 months prior to me saying, okay, I'm going to do this. And my first response was, oh no, not this black girl. I'm gonna be real. Not this black girl. I cannot win as mayor in Warner Robins. Like, let somebody else do it. I'll run for council, and then if I prove myself, maybe I'll have a chance down the road. That was my genuine response. And there's a lot of people who said, no, there's something in you. You can do this. Mm. And they had to convince me for a number of months to try. And then I like this book that Dr. Bernard Hodges wrote, and it said, Bet on Yourself. And just the title alone helped push me through. And then also a scripture helped push me through. God can do exceedingly and abundantly more than you can ever ask or think. Those were two things that I kept going back to on the days when it got hard and I doubted myself. But it was. I'm thankful that I did it, but definitely my support system, seeing something in me that I didn't see in me, is the reason why I ran.
Who were those big supporters behind you?
So there was a group, sort of like a quasi PAC.
Yeah.
And they were not officially a PAC, but it was a great mixture of individuals in our community, different political beliefs, different professions. You had clergy, you had physicians, business owners, individuals who had run for elected office and won before, been on boards. Ethnicity, as far as the diversity, was diverse across different races.
I love that.
So it was a good random sample of Warner Robins. One of the terms I remember from statistics, that's probably the only thing I remember, random sample. So it was a group of those, but we had clergy, the clergy groups, a lot of denominations, they were part of my support system. Also, there's a doctor that practices here, Dr. Scott Malone. He was very instrumental. Dr. Al Shroof, also doctor. And then you have Tim Thomas, a former councilman. Those are some of them, and Representative Willie Talton. He's also one of my big support system, just to name a few.
Wow. And did you have any doubters?
Oh, absolutely.
I know that was your question.
That's okay.
I
No, I was going to ask something else. No, you're good.
Oh, I absolutely had doubters that were very verbally to me and to others, trying to get people to not vote for me that came from the PAC I just explained, the quasi-PAC. One of them was a former mayor, and he called me and said, you cannot win this. You need to just be a city attorney and let somebody else do it.
Wow.
And I remember Dr. Malone calling me and saying, do not listen to him. Do not listen to him. If we didn't think you could do it, we would not have asked you. Just because you're a female doesn't mean you cannot do this.
Yeah.
And we became tight like rice
Yeah.
from that moment. For him to really speak up against his friend in support of me really meant a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's one. And then there was another individual from clergy who actually went to my church, and she was a female that looks like me. And she was telling people in my church, like, do not vote for her. She cannot win. She doesn't have enough experience in politics. And, in their face, boom.
I know. That's so cool, though. I mean, look at you now. You're killing it.
It makes
Thank
me
you.
emotional hearing you say it, because like, I'm trying not to like, but like to hear you say what you said in the beginning and then to like see you sitting right here is amazing. And I thank you so much for sharing that. I really appreciate that.
I'm a real person. Like I said, I'm just LaRhonda.
Yeah.
I'm just LaRhonda. I've been elected to a position of public service. I'm here to serve the public, and I'm always keep it real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest reason why I fangirl around you, because I've been around other like elected officials, and they just seem to like try to carry themselves like kind of away from you. They try to put a distance, which I understand and I respect, you know what I mean? But every time I see you, you're just like down to earth, so much fun. You care for the people, you care for what's going on around you. You take the time, you know what I mean? And I think that love and that passion about you just like flows so easily from you, that energy, and that's why I'm like, oh my gosh, she's just not like anybody else that you meet. And I love that pioneer energy that you're kind of bringing out. Like, you know what, we can be still a part of the people, we can be a part of all this. So, okay, enough fangirling over you, which was actually part of my question, because we do fangirl over you. But you did actually win an award for this place that we're at right now, which has been cutely named the Inno Lab. And you have the Haven House. City employee raises is something that you accomplished under your term. Reducing the budget. I mean, we were actually going over your numbers, and we were like, wow, I can't believe how much she's accomplished. You've really been killing it. And you're humble about it. You're not out there being like, look what I did. You're just like, no, my proof is in the pudding. You're just kind of doing your thing. And then being a member on 13 boards, tell us about your favorite accomplishment. Like, what do you feel the most proud of when you look back at everything you've done?
So the things that we actually have gotten to the finish line, the greatest accomplishment, I will say right now, is going to be Haven Hope House.
Yeah.
That one is my favorite accomplishment because it's already in action.
Yeah.
And the impact
Yes.
is the largest as far as transforming lives.
Yes.
So that's my favorite accomplishment. It was a passion project at first that came from an issue we saw in our community, and I ran on trying to help address homelessness in our community.
Yeah.
And to get to the point where we bought a building my second year. My first year, we started a homelessness coalition, bringing in all the different nonprofits and organizations who have a mission to do something with working with homelessness, bringing them all together, over 70. Like I said, buying a building the next year, renovating the building my third year, and cutting the ribbon my fourth year. So it's been amazing, and it is one that really does show proof that our community is a giving and caring community.
Yeah.
And it really does. I mean, we have over 50 individuals whose lives have been positively transformed since 2022, which is my first year, through the coalition. Wow. And the shelter is going to do even exceedingly more than that.
Yeah. That I didn't know about all of that, but when we started digging into you to do this interview, and I saw that it's a girl after my own heart again, because when I got born again, that's what me and my sister, that's what we did. We were just two blondes out there on Skid Row in LA, you know what I mean? We didn't even care. We were just sharing the love of Jesus and, you know, feeding the homeless and trying to help where we could, you know. So when I saw that you were so involved with that, I was like, oh, I just fell in love even more.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we are soul sisters.
I know,
right.
I love it.
How would you say your education and experience in corporate law and government procurement helped you achieve your goal as running for mayor? And do you feel that it gives you a different perspective than others may have had?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My career prepared me for a position that I didn't know was in my future. Working for small businesses and government procurement, which was my first job out of law school after being barred here in Georgia, and having the ability to learn quickly and adapt and adjust allowed me to get different skill sets and things that were not a part of my job. But when you have a small business, which wasn't my business, but when you have a small business, the entrepreneurs out there, you're doing everything. You're doing the budget, you're doing the marketing, you're doing the worker bee stuff, the behind the scenes, back office, you do everything.
Oh, yeah.
So me getting exposed to that from working in a small business allowed me to do a lot of things in business that prepared me to do the role that I have today. So going from, a low-level contracts administrator, going into in-house corporate counsel, a chief compliance officer, being in-house corporate counsel for a very large corporation in D.C., going into municipal law as a city attorney, just trying to make ends meet for my son and I during my first separation. Yeah. I had to do something new, and God has provided, and it definitely has prepared me in executive leadership, being a person that cares about people, wants to connect to people, make sure people feel needed and not micromanaging, and actually leading instead of managing people.
Yeah.
All of those things did help, and I think it did set me at a different playing field when I was running, which I knew was necessary because I had to show proof that I can do this job.
Oh, I see. That is such an amazing observation, because I would think, too, you can probably pick up on small details and then remember them, too, later, like quick recall like that.
Yes, ma'am. And if I did not, I can have this is my opinion, I could have had all of the motivation, all of the support I wanted when I decided to put my name on a ballot to run as 16th mayor of Warner Robins, the first of a few. But if I didn't have my work experience to show proof like I have all of this experience, I don't think I would have won.
Yeah.
So that's why I said my career prepared me, and I had to prove that I was prepared for this job.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. You definitely are.
Yeah, definitely. It did make me think, because I'm a business owner now, and then I was a PTO president, so that's the only way I can kind of understand a little bit of what you've got going on. And I do feel like being a PTO president did prepare me on the opposite for my small business, you know what I mean? Because I took a dying business, I brought it to life. I took a dying PTO and brought it to life because, there's certain checks and balances that you have to have, just like you have to have with the city. And the people before me, their kids were leaving the elementary, so they didn't care. And they spent all of our money and left us with no savings. So we had to build from like the beginning, And when I left and passed it off, and I think it was like 3 years that I did it, I was able to pass it off with like a huge savings account. We were able to do all these great things, you know what I mean? I got donations and fundraisers and all those things started. So it does prepare you. It's crazy how when you bring the receipts, it does show things. But we know you already being a female, young, a lot of people looking at you as being not experienced. And then you come in here and you have all these crazy visions that others before you were like, what the heck is she trying to do?
Yes.
How do you deal with the cynicism of it all? Like the critical thinking and like the pushback that you get when you come up with these great ideas?
That is a really good question because I have to actually think to answer it. But it is on point.
Yeah.
What I have to do is really educate and explain the why.
Yeah.
Not the why for me and counsel, but the why for our community. I have to do a lot of the due diligence first before I ever speak this thing. And that's helped a lot with getting people to buy into the vision. Having a vision, just like you two ladies are visionaries in your own right as well, it takes a lot of work before you can say, okay, now let's push go.
Yeah.
And that's what I've had to do. But the people that are critical, I mean, that still happens today. Like, I can't do anything right to some people. And guess what? That's okay.
It's okay.
Because what I say is, and I'm a believer, I'm a Christian, and that's part of who I am. And I respect everyone else for whatever their beliefs are. I don't try to say, oh, we all have to match this.
Right.
That's just not the right way to do life. But for me, I also look at, Jesus Christ walked the earth.
Yeah.
And he was lied on. He was talked about.
Yep.
He was criticized.
Yep.
And who am I to think I'm exempt from that?
Yeah.
So I know it's going to come.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know this. I know where my strength comes from. And I know that where there's a will, there's a way. And if you're determined and you have the know-it-all to get there, then go for it and prove them wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I have a lot of fun proving them wrong.
Yes.
Yep. So then they'll learn next time someone comes with a vision or wants to do something that, hey, even though it seems impossible, it's still possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's powerful.
That is powerful. Yeah, you nailed it. But it is true. If you don't have haters out there, are you even doing it right?
Correct. Because if you don't have haters, they're not paying attention to you. If they're paying attention, you're doing something to get their attention.
Exactly.
So as the saying goes, let your haters be your motivators. And that's what we do.
I haven't heard that one.
Oh, yes.
I'm like, wait. Keep your enemies
Write it
close.
down.
Let your haters
Where
be
are we
your
going with this? I love that. Haters
Yeah.
be your motivators.
Let
I'm
your
keeping
haters
that one.
be your motivators. Put it on a shirt and wear it.
Yeah.
Well, you are a strong supporter of military families. You yourself come from a military family. You once said your blood bleeds blue. Will you tell us more about your family's legacy defending our country?
Absolutely. So I come from a military family. As I said, my family is from Thomasville, Georgia, which is 30 minutes from Tallahassee, Florida. So South Georgia, where we like to eat collard greens, and they like to eat, not me. They like to eat pig feet, all of these things, But the way that my family got out of the city, the men joined the military. That was their ticket out. Not saying it was a bad community. It was just a community that just, they didn't want that for that cap on their potential. So they left, joined the military. So, and my grandfathers, both my grandfathers served in the military. One of them served in Vietnam, my mother's father. And then my dad's side, the men, all of them went to the military. All of the seven, my grandmother had 7 children, and all the males went to the military.
Wow.
Now I have a lot of cousins that are in the military. My brother is under me. He's retired Air Force. So I have a deep roots in military, and I was raised from a military father. So a lot of the disciplines and core values I've gotten, it comes from him.
Yeah.
And I appreciate how they translated into adulthood, even though my brothers and I would complain growing up when my dad would literally put our head to the sunlight in the window and check to see if we brushed our teeth well enough.
Dads are crazy. Yes, I have one too.
Yeah, not in a mean way, but he was doing that because he knows how much it costs for dental care. And it's been fun being raised by my father. But one of the funny things that me and my brother talk about is the hospital corners when you make your bed.
Yes.
We had to do that.
My dad,
And
you're
he'd check
bringing
it.
up a core memory for me. I remember my dad telling me about his dad teaching him that. He said, I better be able to bounce a quarter off of this.
Yeah. And he'd come and check it. And Dad, I'm 7.
Yeah.
You have to know how to do this at 7?
Yeah.
But it's true. And
Yeah.
now my brother's going to say, well, how else can you make up a bed if you don't do hospital corners? Like, it's so much in our brain.
Like, you don't know any other way.
So you do it.
They do not want to come to my house then. 'Cause I like to pull the covers all over the place. I don't know what it'll be like once I'm with somebody again, because I just like to just sleep like wild.
Yes.
I'd be really making that bed every day. So your son Lane got to announce your win. I can't even imagine what was going through your mind with the emotions, actually. What was going through your heart with everything? I mean, one, you're winning a big, huge thing, and then you have your sweet baby-faced boy announcing your win. How was all of that?
Yeah, it was a big thing. It was an emotional thing.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why is my son was 3 when I decided to run for office.
Okay. Yeah.
He turned 4 before I put my name on the ballot.
Okay.
But during the summer months, because I announced in July, his birthday's in July and so is mine, but I announced a week after my birthday, Lane went, and of course that's when everyone else knew because it was on the news.
Yeah.
Even though we don't put our name on the ballot till mid-August. My baby he had just turned 4 at that moment, and he was sitting next to me, and I saw it on the news, and I didn't say, hey, Lane, look, Mommy's on the news. I said nothing. He was playing something, I don't know what he was playing with. The next day, I took him to camp at Sacred Heart, because that's a school he went to, Sacred Heart Catholic School. And I went to pick him up that same day, and the camp leaders, they said, oh, Lane told us the great news. I'm like, oh, what great news is that? He said, my mommy is going to be the next mayor. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know that he understood what was taking place, because I didn't talk to him about it. Yeah. So during that time, before he went into school, before school started, school had just started for him for pre-K. And I was taking him home, and he said, hey, Mommy, and I quote, when I grow up, I'm going to be a mayor. And I said, that's good, baby. He said, you can't be a mayor because you're a girl, and mayors are boys. And I said, who told you that? And I was driving the cut through between Watson and Russell, going Kimberly way, so it's windy.
Yeah.
And I remember exactly where I was. And I turned around, and I said, who told you that? I had to go back quickly because it's curvy. So I had to explain to him. I said, just because a female hasn't done it, just because you don't see many females that are mayors, doesn't mean that women can't do it. Right. Women are capable of doing anything and everything. Yeah. So never, ever think that just because you see a male doesn't mean a female can't be that face.
Yes.
And Mommy's going to do this. So for him to do it, he learned, my mommy actually did it. Yeah. But I had to educate him on something. I never taught him that.
Right.
But he learned it from society. Yeah. He learned it somewhere.
Yes.
To make someone who just turned 4 say those words.
Yes.
Yep. So it really meant a lot for him to be able to announce it.
Yeah.
Because of the conversation we had months prior.
Yeah. It's crazy to me how these societies just keep this like closed-in mindset just gets passed down and passed down. Even though you're not passing it down.
Right.
Here you are, a very full, capable, woman, independent woman, and he's still got that mindset, but he's learning now. He'll definitely go into the rest of his life knowing for sure.
Absolutely. Well, he has no choice but to know.
And then you're such an authentic person. Like, is it important for you to pass that down to your son as well?
Absolutely. Yeah. We have the lessons now. My son is the only child for me. He's not his father's only child, and he has a tendency to be spoiled. Yeah. And as only children are, everything's about them when they're small. They're the only person. They don't have to share attention, nothing. So trying to give him those core values as he's approaching 9 now, and make sure he's not spoiled, and have these conversations with him. Like, I go overboard sometimes, but it's important for me to raise a respectable, strong, intelligent man. I know I can't teach him to be a man. His father has to do that, but there are things he can learn from me to make sure he is well-rounded. Yeah. And I don't take that part of the job lightly.
Yeah. Yes. I have no doubt you're going to kill it. I really don't. I don't have any doubt. You're going to do a good job with it. Is there anything else that you wouldn't mind sharing about you and your son, or any favorite memories or anything? I don't know how you feel about putting his information out there, so we're kind of trying to tiptoe delicately around this. But
well, I love my baby. He is my only baby. He is what I prayed for. Yeah. I'm so thankful that God entrusted me to be his mother. I love that. But Lane is a very smart child, and he is an architect, an engineer, and a scientist at 8.
Wow.
And he became all those things around the age of 6.
Oh, that's so cool.
And he wanted a proper science lab, so I did it for him. Like I said, during my first separation, I found work so I could give him the proper science lab in our house, because I wanted to make sure, it kind of gave him that comfort during that separation period, and gave him his own space to do his thing.
Yeah.
So the Eno lab is something that I birthed. It was my idea. It came from meeting with Apple, some executives from Apple I have a friend who does business development. He used to be a lobbyist in Atlanta and D.C. He told them about me, and they came down to Warner Robins, Georgia, to meet me. And it was just a life-changing experience.
Yeah,
really
so
say, wow, you guys came here just to talk to me? You could have did it on Zoom. And they're like, no, if we're building a relationship with someone, we like to meet with them one-on-one. And I was like, wow, you're building a relationship with me? Okay, let's do it. So we spent some time building a rapport. They told me about Ed Farm, which is the STEM educational arm of Apple. And then the Eno Lab was birthed.
Wow.
So it's been great, and this is a place for all children, not just my son, to do something in recreation that's not all about athletics.
Right.
My son, I'm an athlete. I was a female athlete. Even though I still say that I was a female athlete. I was good at athletics. My son doesn't really follow that framework, so it was important for me to have something for him to do, and I know other parents feel the same way.
Yeah.
So the Eno Lab was birthed from that reality, not just with my baby, but for our community.
Yeah.
And also attaching back to when I was growing up, I spent my weekends at the rec department, and guess what? We didn't just play basketball. We did everything.
Yeah.
And we did pottery, we did ceramics, painting. We did the floor hockey in the gym, which I was the best at. I beat all the guys in that one. We did so many activities, and I came here again. My brother's like, "What are we gonna do now? We don't." What do you mean we can't do ceramics and pottery? Like, what is this place? And wanting to start going down the path of bringing other activities, not just for our children, but for our community at large. And that's one of the purposes of the Eno Lab.
Yep. I love that. I love that support for the STEM and arts here, because I deeply feel like we need that here. I really do.
Well, sports and arts. It's like, I feel like just for the youth community in general, there's just not a lot of anything for them, so it's really cool. But I do have to say, so my ex was very into sports, and then my last 2 children who came out were like not into sports at all, and he had such a hard time. My older 2 love sports too, and then the last 2 were like, heck no. How was that for you when you're like, wait, what do you mean you don't want to go out and play basketball? What do you mean you don't want to do these things?
Yeah. Well, the thing with Lane and not having a connection to sports is because he didn't have what a lot of other little boys may have with their father, which is going out, throwing the ball, teaching them how to catch, and exposing them to sports at a young age, just playing around in the backyard or whatever. He didn't have that, and that's part of the issue.
Yeah.
So I remember we signed him up for flag football, and he was 4.
Uh-huh.
And he went out there with his little team. He was so cute. He's really fast. He gets his speed from me. And after the practice, Lane said, "Mommy." So his father was still in the household then. And he said, "Mommy, can you call Poppy, and so I can ask him to teach me how to play football?" That's how he said it. And I said, "Well, why not ask Unc, who is my brother, who had just moved here? Why don't you ask him to teach you? He's younger." And he was like, "Okay." So he asked my brother to teach him how to play football. And he called my dad and asked him to teach him how to play football. But he never asked his dad. So my son knew that he didn't have what the other kids had in practice. Mm-hmm. At 4, he knew. Mm-hmm. So he went to the ones that were more active, like playing with him rough, and asked them to teach him. Yeah. So he wanted to learn how to be athletic. Mm-hmm. He saw, I'm in sports, I got to learn how to do this thing. But he also knew he didn't have that foundation. So sometimes I have a little bit of guilt by me not saying, "Okay, Lane, let's go throw the ball. Let's learn how to throw the ball and know how to hit the baseball." Because I just took for granted that he would have that naturally,
Mm-hmm. So. But no, I love fostering the things that he's passionate about and excels in naturally. Yeah. I think that's that's an amazing thing to do. Yeah. mean, speaking with my inner child, like I wish there was somebody in my life that did that with me.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel the same exact way. But I feel like our generation, like our parents, and maybe, well, I don't know. You sound like you had like a really well-rounded family, so I'm going to leave you out of it. But I don't feel like they were just like living life. It was just kind of, we were just like street like kids. It was like,
real.
okay,
Go outside and play.
yeah, go outside and play.
Drink from the water hose.
Yeah, if you have to pee, there's a yard somewhere.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like even when I lived in California, the same way.
Yeah.
We had plenty of fun, and we just were kind of like, oh, out there.
Yeah.
But it was safe.
It was
Our
safe.
neighborhood was safe,
Yeah.
and kids just had fun being kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were just out there doing things, but it's different now. And I think even if you would have had, I think kids just kind of are who they are because, like I said, I had my ex and he was very athletic. He tried to instill that in the younger too. And they were like, no, not going to happen. You know, they just kind of are who they are. And it sounds like your son is very innovative. And that's like going to be his passion is kind of creating and building in that way. More of the arts, but more of like a technical art, you know what I mean? Which is really cool.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Yeah, that's fun.
I'm going to touch back on Haven Hope House too. I wanted to ask you, will you share with us and also the citizens of Warner Robins a little bit more about the housing situation, if you feel comfortable doing so? I'm not sure how many people know how vast it is and how it deeply affects everybody in our community.
Yes. So the housing situation at the shelter or the housing situation in our community?
In the community.
Okay, great. So housing is difficult for a lot of people in the community. The housing market keeps increasing as far as price, and I honestly worry about people and just wondering how do they even do it. I mean, I know how much I make working for the city, and I remember how hard it was when it was just my son and I with no help going to the store. I remember when I was working before I was here, and I was the breadwinner for the family, and my son was born, and going to the register to buy diapers, and I literally had to pray, Lord, please let this go through. With all my education, all my experience, I still had that moment, and that was back in 2017, 2018, before prices went crazy, right? So I think about those memories of what I had, and I wonder, how are people making it? How are they able to pay? The starting out rent here is around $1,100, maybe even higher at this point. I don't know how they're going to do it, and the fear is that there's going to be more and more families finding themselves homeless just because mommy, daddy, grandma, auntie, whoever's raising them cannot get a decent place to live or a place to live for these babies, and it's a huge concern. So there is a problem.
Yeah.
And we see more and more homeless families reaching out for assistance. But of course, Haven Hope House is for singles. It cannot house children or families.
Okay.
And we still need that option in our community. Not one where the families are having to find money to pay every week, because if you're homeless, it's likely you don't have money to pay every week. That's why you're homeless.
Right.
You can't afford $400 a month to stay somewhere because you are trying to figure out, how do I get a job? How do I get transportation? How do I feed these babies and still try to pay for a place to live?
Right.
So it's a huge issue, not just in our community, but in communities throughout our nation, I believe, where we've really got to find out what to do for those families who want to work, have the ability to work, but they're having a difficulty in budgeting the very high cost just for rent. And it is impacting the calls that we're getting, and we don't have a solution as a city government because we can't house families in Haven Hope House.
What would the city need to be able to take steps towards something like that?
Really, it would be great if we had a grant.
Okay.
That would allow us to have that, a grant and a location that we could purchase to allow for those spaces, the transitional housing and sheltering for families. Macon figured it out. They have their Brookdale Warming Center, and they have that transitional space for families. And there just isn't much option here. There was one option in Perry, but they since have vacated, and it's back to the ABBA House now. But we need it. We need space, or we need an organization that has that mission and has the space. We just need the community to help with resolving the issue, whatever it looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. What could we do as a community, as individuals? What are some things that we can start doing?
For the families, really advocating in your own circles. Say, hey, we need this. Is there someone that can provide a resource? Also, just we have a funding arm when it comes to Haven Hope House to accept funds to try to help put individuals up in hotels, but that's a bandage. We don't need bandages. We need to get to the root of the issue, right? The great wish that I'd have, which I know won't come true, is for the cost of living to go down, the rental prices to correct itself. Yeah. And I just know that that's just not likely. But one thing that the community can do too is we'll hear people say, oh, we have all these apartments. Here's another apartment. Here's another apartment. But I need them to be more compassionate to understand why apartments may come. Yeah. The city doesn't call for them to come. The market brings them into the community because of a market research that shows there's a need for this in your community. Even those are what I say luxury apartments because they're $1,200 and up. That's not for individuals who aren't working. That's for people who are working because you can't live there if you're not working, right? Just being more compassionate about different people's different levels that they need as far as housing and not look down on someone because they have to live in an apartment or choose to live in an apartment.
Right.
But just continuing to be giving towards children who are in need at our school system even. And I'd love a day when the community would advocate for free lunch for all children, no matter what, because that does help a lot. But I can give a whole laundry list of things that I would love to see the community do. But advocating is number one, changing people's perspective and not seeing it, oh my gosh, they're homeless. Don't help them. They chose it. Some people didn't choose it. Yeah. Sometimes the path they took in life led them to homelessness, and some people are just holding on. I remember a time when I almost lost my house. I had a Juris Doctor, a bachelor's degree, experience working at the General Assembly, a lot of experience, but I was taking care of a household by myself with a certain amount of income, and mortgage was missed 2 months in a row. Yeah. And I got a letter. So I think about, wow, what if somebody was in a situation where they just hit a dark place. They got laid off from their job, or they lost their job. They may not have the education that I have that allows me to try to find something that gives me more so that I can take care of the household. So my life experiences really do make a difference in how I lead and the compassion I have for community and being about the community. So I just wish more people were that way. And I think we'd be even a more giving society than we already are. I'm very thankful for how we are, but we still need more.
Yeah. I agree to that too. I think a lot of people look at the homeless and they just think, oh, it's somebody who's on drugs or somebody who, you know what I mean? And they just kind of dismiss it. But when we were out feeding the homeless on Skid Row, the majority of the homeless that we were running into were aged out children, which were never taught how to live life, you know, and that's always been a big, huge call. If I ever get any kind of money, that's like one of the very first initiatives that I would want to take care of. And the other ones were a lot of vets. You know, they were at war for so long, and then they come here, and, you know, they would just be like, you would have conversations with them, and they're like, no, I have a house, I have a family, I have things that I can go to, but I have lived in war so long, I don't know how to not live in war. It's just too peaceful, and I can't handle it. My mind goes crazy. So it is, you don't know what somebody's going through when they are in that situation. Or like you said, I mean, I have been broke a couple times in my life. Once when, you know, I was newly married, and then another time separating from my husband, and I didn't take anything, and I was barely surviving, and there was days I went without food. You know?
I've been there, same reason.
So you never know what somebody's going through, and to just have that heart and that compassion and just take the time to get to know why they're in that position, you know, safely. Be safe about it, of course. Is it my turn?
I think so.
Oh, it is my turn.
I know, we're conversational hot tub.
and I think this is one that I wrote because it says, since I moved here in 2019, I was hoping for somebody to redevelop the downtown commercial circle. I felt like Warner Robins unfortunately felt like empty of a heart or a soul around here. It just kind of felt like a truck stop or something. I don't know. And now here you are. Would you like to tell us about a little bit about your plans or what you would love to see happen in downtown?
Absolutely. One of the things I ran on was finally having a downtown, building a downtown. And it comes from being in middle school. We PCS here in 1994, and I was in middle school. So I'd hear probably more like early high school about a downtown, building a downtown. And I was like, well, where is this downtown? I haven't seen it yet. And I went through high school like not even understanding, like, they keep talking about a downtown, but I've never seen a downtown. I don't know where it is. Are they talking about where Walmart is? Because that's the only place we shop, right? But I ran on that, and I ran on it because I knew there was a lot of unearthed potential right here in our community. So we could have that heart of the city. And I went back to the historic city center, which is Commercial Circle, which we all know was just not having much visitors at all. And I came in with a mission to make it happen. And I came in, the city owned less than an acre of the now 20-acre tract. And by year 3, by year 2, we owned 50% of it. Oh, wow. And now we own over 75% of Commercial Circle. So now I know we can do this because we own the majority of the space.
Yeah.
So we could do the plans, and we had the help of UGA, University of Georgia, engineering department in doing our infrastructural blueprints, the Carl Vinson Institute in doing our renderings, which you all may have seen. We're building a live, work, play community, building from the ground up, even up to 4 or 5 stories, live, work, play, commercial retail at the bottom, some office spaces scattered throughout. And the top of most of the buildings will be residential. It can be in the form of condos, which people own, apartments. Just even townhomes. You might see the townhomes that are 2 stories above a structure, and having that place where the family can come and have a great time. Green space, walkability, bikeability, scooterability, all of those things inside of a place where we can always come and have a great time in our city. Attaching to Perkins Fields with the entertainment part, with the small amphitheater, having the Civic Center renovated so we can have shows indoors, having a place for our children to play, a water feature, just nice green space for community activities. On a random Tuesday, a farmer's market, an open air farmer's market. All these things are planned to help make our city more well-rounded. So I'm really excited, and we've come a long way from a thought and a vision to boots on the ground. This is what we have. These are the receipts. This is how far we've come.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. I'm excited to see it. And we did get to see, when we met with you that very first time about the Healthy Hustle, you showed us like some of your little ideas.
The renderings,
That was really fun.
And Warner Robins is the international city. So I love that it's going to be out there because there's some international families that own businesses out there, and it's such a cool area, and the history there. I think a lot of people forget about the history, but it's just kind of like Warner Robins kind of grew from there out. So it's just I feel like it's so important to go back to the heart like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, let's get back to you. So we have to ask because Sarah and I are both in self-care. So staying healthy is a big initiative for you, but what are your favorite self-care and workout routines? When you have time.
Well, she's like, I already covered this.
through life, my favorite thing was running. I liked to run.
Yeah.
Just running. I don't like distance running, but I would more so go to a track on base and sprint the curves, walk or jog the straightaways. And any kind of a circuit training boot camp, like quick motions. Those are my go-to for fitness activities once in a lifetime. And the second question was,
do you do any self-care?
Self-care?
Yeah.
Yes. I get my nails done now.
Nice.
I don't do it on a good schedule. Sometimes I go 4 or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
They look bad.
I
but
relate to that,
hey, it's better from where I started.
Yeah.
I get my hair done. I let someone else do my hair now.
Nice.
And that's therapeutic on its own. I had no idea how therapeutic it would be to have someone else wash your hair and condition it and blow dry it.
Definitely.
And all the things that we get done to make ourselves look as beautiful on the outside as we are on the inside.
Yeah.
that's about it. So I'm working on the rest. And that's why I love your Healthy Hustle, because there are so many businesses that people just don't know what they're offering. So they never, ever go inside of it to get to do the different things that are offered. So I like your initiative in more ways than one. So I'm a work in progress with the self-care.
I was actually in this business for a long time, and I had a doctor come to me, and she's older, and she looked like she was in her 40s, and she was an ER doctor, grew up around here, And I was like, how do you look so beautiful? Like, what is your secret? I got to know. I was like, what's your diet and exercise routine? And she laughed at me, and she was like, I was an ER doctor with 4 kids and a needy husband. It was called life. Life was my exercise. and then she was like, and she was well, as far as diet goes, I was an ER doctor. It was called seafood. Okay, I see it, I eat it, because most of the time I was eating out of a vending machine. And I was like, oh, you must have good genes. And she's like, actually, no. She's like, my whole family is riddled with like autoimmune diseases. I just don't have any issues like that. And she was like, but I started doing massages and facials at a very young age. And that was like the one thing that I stuck to on a monthly basis. I would carve out time to do it. And she was like, I really do think that helped me, because it detoxes you. It helps you cleanse your stress level. You know what I mean? And she's like, I really do feel like that's the one thing that kept me, because she's young. I mean, you would not even think she was in her 70s. Like, you would look at her and think she was in her 40s.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Note to self. Massages, facials.
So I was like, I have been doing this for a living for a long time, and I don't even do this. Okay. So I started even being a broke, just had left my husband with no money, and some days didn't even have food, but I was still like, nope, I'm going to start setting this into the budget, that I'm going to do this. And once you start setting that into your routine, now I'm up to once a month, I go and get my facial and my massage.
Awesome.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
So we're sitting here right now in the Inno Lab, which is award-winning, and it did make us a smart city, which is amazing. And you touched on before that you kind of had like the whole thought because of your son, but tell us more about it. Like, who is it for? Like, who can come here and use this?
So the Inno Lab is for the smallest toddler up to the most elder member in our society.
Yeah.
And they use it in different ways. So the babies, they have the little kids corner in the side over there in the corner, and they can do makerspace building things, which is helping to train their brains on that part. For the adults, there is Pathways to Tech. Yeah. They can come in for free courses to learn how to work in the technology industry.
That's awesome.
And be employable.
Yeah,
because they take away a skill that makes them employable.
Yeah.
For the elders, having the classes that teach them how to do something simple to help make their quality of life better in today's society. Something as simple as, how do you use a smartphone?
Yeah.
How do you video chat with your grandbabies?
Yeah.
My grandmother, I had to talk her through all the time, even now, how to do it from her phone, because no matter what happens, they say the stupid phone doesn't work, right? So giving them that comfort that you can operate this device, and teaching them how to do it and how to recognize spam and all that stuff. So they get those lessons. And then even for the youth, which gets the most use of this typically, just teaching them different coding, how to use the devices, how to do drones, stuff that you can ingrain in them at a young age and help them have careers when they get older if they choose to be in tech. But there's so much to offer in this little space. I'm so proud of it. We're getting a lot of attention across the region for what we're offering here. And for Apple, this was the first community-based lab
That's awesome.
that Ed Farm had ever done. All the others were inside of school systems.
Okay.
So inside of school systems, they'd have a STEM lab that may have been in Ed Farm spaces. They came here, and I said, well, something I'd love to do as a city. And they said, well, we never thought about doing it from a city's perspective. So this was the first one that they ever did. Nice. They came in and designed it. We own everything inside here, but it was their vision that made it be. And since then, the impact has been phenomenal, because they have opened several since this started. And this didn't open until 2024.
Wow. So our city pioneered that too.
Yes, we were the first community-based lab that Ed Farm had ever done.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. And we can hear children playing in the background, so anybody can come and utilize this space too.
Yes, they can. Right now, we're really pushing on the educational piece with Ed Farm as part of their curriculum. So we'll have coding camps. This week, the camp doesn't start till the evening. My son's in all of them. And they learn how to do the Cricut, 3D printing, which he says he's an expert in. They also learn game design, which is the coding aspect, and podcasting.
Oh, wow.
So those are the 4 activities they do in the camp they're doing in June. In July, it'll be something similar.
That's so cool. What are the ages for that?
For the camp that Lane is in now is 8 years and up.
Okay, cool.
The younger can come, but they have to have an adult with them.
Okay. And there's no, you can be like, because I have a 16-year-old, I wonder, yeah.
Yep, they can come too.
Okay, cool. I need to get more information on this.
Yeah.
Yep. Even there's a state agency that's about technology. It's called Georgia Technology Authority. They heard about EnoLab through Apple, so the director came down to see it in person, and they're going to be doing a program here, and it goes up through high school from K to 12th grade. So that'll be a really cool one. We'll make sure we share out. So maybe your son will want to come to that.
Yeah, yeah. Where do people find out about these things? Because, like, where do you guys advertise?
So we advertise on our socials and on our website.
Okay.
We actually found that we really need to have a landing page specific for the EnoLab, because right now if you go into the recreation department tab, it's kind of buried in there, the activities that we have. When if you go for scheduling or signing up, registering, then you will see. But we're working on getting its own landing page.
Okay.
Because it deserves its own page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Well, as a mayor, I know you would have the best point of view on this. Aside from voting and paying taxes, what are little things that citizens of a city can do every day that help the greater good?
Really great question as well. Well, I believe that we're all neighbors, and we bring different resources to make our community stronger. So little things they can do is help kind of be their own think tank, brainstorm on if we're having an issue in our community, speak up about it. Let us know that there's an issue. Sometimes we don't know what's happening in your backyard because we can't access your backyard to see, or what's happening behind your backyard, and there's houses all around it. We can't see it. But if you come and tell us, now we can address it.
Yeah.
But coming up with the different ideas to make our city have a higher quality of life, or putting us on notice on things, those are things that we need, and we rely on our community to help us. So sometimes when you see a lot of people complaining like, oh, this is terrible, we always still listen. And if it comes out like, okay, they're not just being negative about the situation, there's actually an issue, we get right on it and we address it. But the more that we know from our community, the more we understand the issues in everybody's neighborhoods, the better we can address it and make our city better overall.
Okay. So like maybe, would that be like at a council meeting or? Okay.
It could be in a council meeting. It could be calling and asking for a meeting with me or our staff or our councilman, just sharing with us. Council meetings, you hear people, they'll go up and they'll share, and you'll see us take notes, and we'll talk to them after, or staff will, to try to address their issue. But we move pretty quickly. As long as we have notice, we're moving. Now, historically, there's been issues with some things, like people still complain about water leaks, and we have to educate, like, hey, this is how we're addressing these issues. And we've resolved a lot of the water leaks I inherited, by the way, which is just because of old infrastructure. A lot of the infrastructure under the ground was there whenever the development first happened, and they age. They are not meant to last until eternity.
Right.
So we don't know there's an issue until we have a report of a leak. Now we can address it.
Yeah.
Just being more open and communicating with us and telling us what you need from us and what you want to see is going to help beyond the responsibilities we have as citizens.
Absolutely.
As constituents, I should say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I think we kind of hit the end of our questions. So is there anything that you personally want to share about yourself that we didn't touch on, or about what you're trying to move forward in as being the mayor, or whatever? Is there anything like that?
Well, I'll hit on challenges, like what the different challenges that I've had on this journey to my 5th year. I definitely had the naysayers, which we've talked about already.
Yeah.
But a challenge in being a woman in leadership is one I'm still trying to understand.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to get help with. And I'm not shy to talk about the reality of things, because I'm a realist, It is what it is. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
I don't sit there and complain and say, oh, I can't believe they did this to me in a meeting. I just take it because I have to take the darts for others who will come after me. But you can still find a solution to the issue, right?
Yeah.
So being a woman in leadership comes with challenges. As one of my mentors told me, in government, historically, women have been disrespected.
Yeah.
And it's still the same in 2026.
Oh, yeah.
The meetings I go to, the board meetings I go to, or the meetings I lead even, and I ask a question or I say something, and the little, this happened recently from a local leader in our county. I asked a question or I made a comment, and they responded back, and they were talking to my city administrator. And they were like, hey, talking to him about a meeting he wasn't even at. I was at the meeting. He wasn't at the meeting. But they feel more comfortable sometimes talking to what they're familiar with. So they're going to talk to the male in the room sometimes and not talk to me. Or the issues with, I am the city, I am the mayor. I'm also function as a city manager. I am a strong mayor system, so I'm the CEO. So I have to actually work. I have a job to do. But the amount of people who are in leadership around us who will call my director or will call my city administrator but never once dial my number, but they're calling the other mayors.
Yeah.
They don't call me. It drives me up the wall.
Yeah.
But again, I can't complain.
Yeah.
I smile through it.
Yeah.
And it's still something I'm trying to address.
That would make me feel crazy. I would be like, hello.
Look, I literally was in a meeting just not within the last 2 weeks, to not be too specific, and talking to one of my directors, and my city administrator was there too. And I'm talking to him. And the little amount of times he looked at me,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's how I was like, this has to come to an end.
Yeah.
I literally was going to say, hey, I'm right here. But I didn't do it because I was in a serious meeting. I didn't want to be petty. But these are things that we have to work on. Women do sometimes encounter these issues that after my 5th year, I will know when it's just a coincidence and when it is intentional, but they don't even know that they're doing it.
Yeah.
That's a challenge, and I'm still trying to navigate.
It's breaking society's mindset too, because I know even being a business owner, I'll have even other women try to avoid that. You know what I mean? It's like even women themselves, we can't give each other that respect yet. It's like you'll lean to want to go towards a man. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, I'm right here.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. I want to vent every day.
This.
Every day I want to vent so bad. But I had to call on, this year I started building my mentors, which are CEOs from different levels, and 2 leaders are women, and we can have the conversations.
Yeah.
But it brought comfort when I heard them say the same thing happens to me.
Yeah.
It's not okay.
Yeah.
But at least I know it's not just me.
Yeah.
And there's strength when we share together and share our experiences and our challenges and try to encourage each other to get through.
Yeah.
I remember when I came in office, Robins Air Force Base had a woman leadership team. Our commander of the installation was a female, Colonel Droz, who is now General Droz, Lindsay Droz. I love her so much. Then you had General Hammerstead, who is now even higher level general. And then there were two others. So I had a meeting with them at Robins Air Force Base at a conference room table, and I fangirl over military stuff. Yeah. And to see all these women, I was like, oh my gosh. I was so nervous, and I was like, oh my gosh. So we had a conversation, fast forwarding, and I asked him, I said, how do you all deal with the challenges in being a woman in leadership that's predominantly led by males in their perspective? In their reality, it was usually males in those seats. And it's like they took a sigh of relief. Yeah. And they each went around and shared that the different challenges that they faced. They were women in leadership. And they said this thing that stuck with me. I said, well, how do you guys get through it? How do you handle it? She said, really? We have a group text, and we text each other, and we can just say we're having one of those days. And they send motivation to each other.
I love that.
Again, they're not complaining. They're not making a big fuss about it, because if you do, they're showing, women are too emotional. That's why they can't do these jobs.
Yeah.
You have to really show them you're tough.
Right.
And whatever they're trying to do to break you won't work. And that's what they did to help build each other up. But to hear this general, to hear this commander of one of the largest installations in our country, in our world, tell me they face issues because they're females in leadership.
Right.
It really helped me feel like it gave me some power at that moment. Like I felt empowered in my role. So it's a huge issue. It's still here. We've made so much progress.
Yeah,
but there's still so
there.
much to do.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, you're planting seeds that you may never see the shade, but others will enjoy.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is what's going to help us evolve as a species together. I feel like it's like we could be Star Trek. We could be like zooming through light years, but it's just little things stopping like that just keep us held back, you know?
Yep. But it's been a pleasure. Like I said, I really do enjoy my role. The impact is something I never thought would come in the role. It's more than just leading our city and trying to make decisions for all the citizens and try to do the best by them and going back to the basics, being about people over politics.
Yeah.
That's what I said from the beginning I would do, and I'm showing that every day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Reshaping the expectations of people when it comes to leading, being elected in office, and really being that example and not being shy to say, this is my job. I am a public servant. I am not a politician. I know how to do that too. Don't get it twisted. But I choose to be a public servant. And if we have more people that are really passionate about serving the people, our whole country will be in a better place. So I do it even if I do it alone.
Yeah.
And hopefully more people who are very passionate about service, it's in their DNA to serve people. Our country will continue to do even more things and be about the people's business.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you do have just a natural way of commanding the room. I mean, we went to that city hall where we did our Healthy Hustle announcement, and you just do have a calm, like strong demeanor about yourself. You are holding yourself in a respectful way. So it's going to come, you know what I mean? It really is going to come, and we're going to keep on just pushing forward us badass boss ladies.
Yes. Put that on a shirt too.
Yes.
Yeah, I love my graphic tees. If you see me out and about, I likely will be in a graphic T-shirt.
Oh.
Or Janet Jackson's. I love Janet.
Yes. Oh my God.
Or my Janet shirts.
Yes. Miss Jackson.
And some tights.
Yeah.
I look like I'm going to the gym, but I'm not going to the gym. But that's
Girl
what
after
I'll wear.
my heart.
Yes.
All right. Did you want to shout out any socials or anything like that? Any other?
Yeah. So
Because we have the InnoLab you're starting to work on, and just anything like that you want to shout out.
Well, the City of Warner Robins has an app.
Yay.
City of Warner Robins app. That's
Nice.
a great way to keep in contact with us. And we have our Instagram and our Facebook. I'm old. I'm in my 40s. So I still lean towards Facebook.
Me too.
But we do have Instagram too.
Yeah.
But just City of Warner Robins government. Those are our taglines. And for me, I have my Mayor LaRhonda Patrick page. And then I also have LaRhonda W Patrick, which is I'm just LaRhonda.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the title of it, but that's where you get to see me just being me.
I love that.
Yes.
You just get to be the human part of it, not all the boss person and mom person and everything else. And then do you have any events that you would like to talk about really quick before we wrap this up that's happening soon?
Yeah,
I know we're in our health initiative, so.
Yeah, the health initiative events is going to be top of mind. We have a schedule of things happening in the month of June, July, and August. And we will advertise it every week for what's happening in that week.
Okay.
But coming up, we have our golf clinic, which I'm excited about. That happens tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
I'm hoping this year I get to go because they never let me go. If it's during business hours, I typically miss it. And I really want to get back into golfing.
It's so funny. If you put on a pair of sunglasses and a hat, you just snuck out.
Like
I'm going this year.
just to sneak away.
Like, I'm in disguise. That's totally,
Nobody recognized me.
That's totally my flavor. I would totally do that. And then we have Pound, which is fitness with some sticks. And that's happening on tomorrow, too.
Oh, wow.
And that's at the North Housing Sports Complex. When you get off work, 6 p.m., go do that. But, yeah, we have so many different fitness activities, things that you don't have to pay membership to do. And you can find out what your vibe is, you know? So we can get fit together and learn all the preventative health care we need to know and the importance of getting your annual screenings, which I really do stress.
Yeah.
I didn't know until I learned how impactful annual screenings, getting the blood work done every year so you can you can better monitor illnesses and diagnoses and cut them off early.
Yes.
We just follow our event schedule.
Nice.
It's not the prettiest thing, but it's
It's
it
informational.
works.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's effective.
Yeah.
And come see, come participate and look out for the healthy hustle.
Yeah.
Healthy hustle.
Yes.
Healthy hustle.
I look forward to participating in that this year too.
Yes.
Yeah, we're excited about it this year. All right. Well, with that being said, thank you again for coming on here. Your schedule's so busy, so it truly is an honor.
A lot.
Yes. And that's a wrap.